episode of Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet where Tony Stark's version of AA is Avengers Anonymous. I'm your host, Chad.
I'm your host, Rob, and today we're going to be reviewing the graphic novel Iron Man Season 1.
As always, you can check us out over at Twitter at Epic Geek Out. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/epicgeekout, and also check out the website, www.epicgeekout.com. But let's get into our review of Iron Man Season 1.
So today we're talking about Iron Man Season 1. The Season 1 graphic novels, they've been around for about a year now. In 2012, they released a couple. Basically, their purpose of those is to kind of reestablish and modernize the storylines of our favorite characters. There's been a couple out. I forget which ones. Wolverine was one that I know off the top of my head. But we took a look at the Iron Man version because, you know...
It's a theme week, guys. It's a theme week.
And... The storyline of this sort of follows a little bit of what happens in the first film, but takes a lot of liberties on it. But it's that sort of format, that version of the story, where he kind of like gets in the cave and everything, the shrapnel, all that stuff. Interesting art style in this, for sure. What did you think of this?
To get through just this one trade, or whatever that's called, it was hard. I really didn't enjoy this comic. Really, I didn't enjoy much of it at all. I think the art was jarring and it was hazy at times.
It's like a gritty,
and like you couldn't really
gray-ish.
Like the characters looked the same, not because they didn't look differently, but because they were under this like haze. It's like you were looking through like saran wrap or something, and I could not get behind that at all. The villain I thought was awful. Like it's just this random thing where it's his old college buddy that now went all crazy and
looks like the alien from Prometheus.
Yeah, and just like everything. Things felt rushed. I felt like I didn't think the panels were set up well, so they would have like little just kind of like 3 panels on a page and then just like one little head like in the corner, and just the way it's set up, it just didn't flow for the dialogue at all. And also just like the suit was made in one page. Like I felt like they could have devoted a lot more time to that suit than like some of the backstory of setting up some of like the people at home that were bad. Exactly. They introduced characters and they didn't give anyone else like any really time to progress with their story. There was nothing that I really liked about this. Nothing was like, I can forget the art's bad because I like the dialogue. I think the dialogue was actually some of the worst I've read in a comic, because it was just like, it was either not enough or too much at different points. The movie did it better, the story of this.
I agree.
So this rehatch, I don't need to see, and it got into the whole alcohol problem really fast and then ended. It kind of solved it really quickly. So I don't know. It also didn't take, like, if this was going to be a graphic novel and they were going for really grittiness, don't bleep out the curse words, which they did, make it actually much grittier than it actually was. It didn't have an identity, and I just kind of felt like it was kind of put together. So I really, really didn't enjoy my time with it. But
yeah, I kind of agree with that. For me, Tony Stark in this just felt too old. I don't know if that makes sense. If you felt the same, I just feel like he didn't feel
no sense
Tony Stark to me
of anything.
He wasn't really witty. He wasn't like. I mean, they touched on the alcohol stuff, which I agree, way too much alcoholism stuff in this, because I feel like that's something that should happen later in the story, because you want him to be a hero first, and not like he's dealing with all these different things, like the whole fact that his technology is kind of what puts him in the situation he's in. So like that is enough to deal with, let alone now you have the alcoholism on top of that, and like the way it ends is really just like alcoholism, like way in your face, like over the top, crazy, ridiculous. I mean, not crazy, but just out of place for this kind of story. It's an origin story, so I feel like that should have been a piece of it, but not like a large majority of it, like it was.
Yeah. Agreed.
I felt like the villain was kind of weak as well. I mean, it was a.
Did he have 2 different names while reading it, or am I wrong in that?
He had like
was
a
he called
weird
something
name.
different? Like
it was like a weird, Chinese-ish name. I think.
Yeah, I don't have any idea.
I mean, just the way that they kind of built him up was just like there was no real motive defined in this as to why he kind of transitioned to the bad guy. He was like a friend, and then sort of like he just showed up as a bad guy, and they didn't really explain that too well. And just a lot of like rushed stuff where it should have been expanded on. I felt like it was the prequel, the Star Wars prequels of Iron Man, because they like talked a lot about like the politicky stuff, but like the action stuff was like glossed over really quickly.
The dialogue between the three people back, the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe the defense secretary and the woman, whatever they were. I mean, there was like talk of embezzlement and stuff like that, and it was so bland and so like, this is what we're doing. We're going to get caught. No, we're not going to get caught. We want money.
Yeah.
Like it had no. I don't know. It stunk.
Yeah, and I see that this is a standalone thing where they're trying to kind of establish that definitive origin story, and I get that they don't want to take too many liberties with that portion of it, but I think that it could have been a lot more. I don't know, just like action packed, and
the action wasn't good either.
I think just in general they could have made it more, Iron Man feeling, because even just
and the suits could have looked cool. The suit never looked cool in this.
It was all the gray scale.
Yeah, it never looked. He never looked like Iron Man. He never talked like Tony Stark. So to not have either of those things, I don't know, it was jarring, to say the least.
So I guess a little disappointing is kind of the consensus of this one. It is a standalone thing, so it's not like there's a series based on this that's ongoing. It's just kind of the origin story. So if you're interested in that, you kind of want to learn more about it. It is, I guess, a good way into the character as far as like origin basis goes.
Or you can watch Iron Man.
You can watch Iron Man 1, because it is a very similar storyline, and it definitely did it better.
Similar, I mean, definitely different. I mean, it is definitely different.
Especially the villain and all that stuff.
They were definitely going for the same feel kind of thing. But, it had similarities, but it certainly did have differences. I do want to say that.
Yeah, so Iron Man Season 1, there's a bunch of others out as well, and they're coming out, they're releasing them. So check out some of the other ones and see what you think. So that's it for another episode of fun-filled week of superhero awesomeness, Iron Man. We loved it, so make sure you go out and see that if you haven't yet. But now's the time of the episode where we like to give thanks for some other geek stuff that's not superhero related. Maybe.
It's a Philadelphia. I'm going to thank a Philadelphia superhero. Awesome. Kind of a weird thanks, but I'm sort of kind of excited at the prospect of it. Apparently, they are making a Rocky musical on Broadway.
I did hear that.
And I love the Rocky movies. Being from Philadelphia, besides the 2008 Phillies in my lifetime, no champions, nothing. It's hard to be from this. Well, not in our lifetime.
I think I don't know. They could have. I don't know.
So, we always had the Rocky movies to go back to after a hard loss. And so, I don't get to see many Broadway shows, but I think I would check this out if I was up in New York or when it comes down to Philly for production. So I'm interested to see how they can actually put this on stage, and I want to go see the Rocky musical.
It's actually, I think, doing really well abroad. Like,
Is it?
Have it abroad
I didn't know
that
they had it already.
I think that they did a pilot of it somewhere abroad.
I did not know that.
That's why they're going to bring it here. So I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
could be good.
Intrigued.
I'm going to talk about another film that I caught this weekend that I really loved, The Guilt Trip. It's one that,
surprise.
Again, embarrassed to say, but I really liked it. Seth Rogen was actually funny in this for a change. Lately, he's kind of been, hit or miss for me. Really great relationship between mom and son. I feel they nailed that pretty well. And the plot was so simple and refreshing for a comedy, where plots have been ridiculously over the top and kind of ruined the movies for me. In some cases for comedies. It was so simple and just to the point and delightful. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. I caught it. It's out for rental right now. So I caught it on iTunes, but you can get it at Redbox like we always mention on the show. So check it out. I do really like it. It's cool. It's a good watch. So that's it for this week of episodes. We're going to be back next week with some more for you. We got Greek Gatsby coming out, some films coming out soon that we're excited about for summer films, Star Trek soon. So make sure you check back for that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.